Good afternoon. This meeting will now come to order. This is the meeting of the Laverne Board of Zoning Appeals, July 25th, 2017, regular meeting at 5:30. We're calling the meeting to order, and the first item to do is determine the quorum. We have one person missing. We still have a quorum. The next item of business is to approve the minutes from the last meeting. Has everyone had a chance to read the minutes?
Make a motion, we approve.
We have a motion to approve the minutes as presented. Do we have a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. We'll take a vote. All those in favor of approving the minutes as presented signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous. The minutes are approved as presented.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman, I think do we have a nay or a yay?
Aye.
Aye, okay.
Okay.
I was talking like you were.
Okay, just
Sorry.
want to make sure we hear it right.
She's speaking softly. Payback, I guess. Okay, the first item on here is old business. Appeal the decision of the city planner in regards to the qualifying home business status of 315 Davids Way, requested by Dulinda Beckwith, property located at 315 Davids Way, tax map 014B, Group B, parcel 03.20.42 acres, R2 medium density residential zoning district, parcel owned by Kevin Beckwith. May we have the report, please?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The applicant, Ms. Ludina Beckwith, is requesting to appeal the decision of the building inspector and codes enforcement officer to allow a home-based business at the aforementioned property. Mr. and Ms. Beckwith propose a home-based business called Lumabe's Parties. Lumabe's Parties is a princess party venue where a guest of honor and up to 7 friends can come to the residence and participate in a party. This venue will host 2 to 3 hour parties that will entail a dress to wear during the party, hair and makeup, join the guest of honor at the celebration table for refreshments, karaoke, and create their own keepsake. All of this information has been provided to the city by the applicant. On May 22nd of this year, the codes enforcement officer informed Ms. Beckwith that the proposed type of home-based business was not on the approved list for in-home businesses according to the zoning ordinance. There were other concerns regarding the parking and whether or not there was adequate space for parking at the residence. And an attached summary is included for your benefit. Thank you.
Thank you. Are the applicants here present with us today? Is one of you going to be the spokesperson? Okay, would you step forward? Would you raise your right hand, please? You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you. Oops, sorry. Would you state your name and address for the record, please?
Ludina Beckwith at 315 Davids Way, Laverne, Tennessee.
Thank you. You've heard the report by the city planner. Do you have anything to add?
The only thing that wasn't, I mean, it's probably on the paper, is that when I called the beginning of the year, I asked, what do I need to do to open the business in my home? And I was told that I need 2 licenses, one from the state and one from the county. And I asked them, would I get any kind of inspection or anybody to come out? And they said no, because of the type of business I was doing, I didn't need that. You need to get licensed. So I came here and picked up my license, and then I went to Murfreesboro and picked up the other license. It wasn't until a guy that told me to call and asked about, do I need a permit for a sign? And when I called about the sign, they connected me to, they said I needed to talk to zoning, and I was like, well, they already told me I can do the business, I have license. And they connect me to Mr. Randolph, and he said there's only 4 business you can have in a home, and I was like, really? No one told me that. They gave me my license and everything. I haven't had a party, and it's just something that, you know, we don't have in this area for little girls, that they just be a princess. And I think it would be awesome to treat them like princes and have them, you know, do a little party and get dressed up. And so he explained that it wasn't on the list, and then we talked to what's his name, Mr. Bruce, and he said it's not on the list, but it's more businesses that can be in your home. So he suggested we do appeal, and he told us when.
All right. How many people live in that house?
2,
You and your husband?
yes,
Do you both drive?
yes,
2 cars.
yes,
Is there a third car by chance?
no,
Okay. 2-car garage,
yes,
driveway for 2 cars.
no. My driveway can fit 4 cars, but I also have on the side where we do them. When I talked to Mr. Randolph, I told him the party is for 8 kids, but 9 times out of 10, there's not gonna be 8 cars, but I do have space for 8 cars if I had to. But most of the parents is gonna bring the kids to the house, so it might be 3 or 4 cars. But yeah, we definitely have plenty of space, and so Mr. Randolph pulled it up and said, yes, I do have one of the biggest lots, that it wouldn't be a problem.
Is it a half acre?
I don't know, I don't know the, size.
42 acres, 200 acre. Less than
Yeah,
half
all right.
acre.
It's
But the
right on the
driveway-
corner.
Almost,
It's
okay,
right on the
almost.
corner.
But the driveway, paved driveway, only will hold a maximum of 4 cars.
Yeah,
Will that
well,
hold, you have a sidewalk there?
no sidewalk.
Okay. That's 4 cars without overhanging on to the road?
Yes, yeah, because my cars would be in the garage, yes.
Okay. Any questions by the board members? No?
Have you made any kind of arrangements for safety of the children for when people are coming and going?
Yes, are you talking about, I have insurance?
Well, no, I mean, like, one of the reasons why sometimes daycares aren't allowed in the subdivision is because of lack of adequate driveway and parking, ingress and egress to drop children off. Usually you'll have a circle driveway or something, that way there's no backing up to where, you know, little
Correct.
kids
Yeah.
sometimes get loose from their parents and will run up behind a car and somebody backs over them and
Right.
things like that.
No, I don't have a circle, I don't have a circle cement. I just have the spots available. The parties will be on Saturdays and Sundays. I might have a party once a month, I might have none that month. So, if it was to where I can just ask them, you know, do they need to carpool or whatever, that's what I think. But I have, which is probably not a good thing, where we park is on the side. And when the Vergne cops came by one time when we had this big party, and he said it's okay for us to park as long as part of it is on the street and part of it is on the grass. And that way, if you had to leave, you understand, they would not have to go back up behind. So if it was to be real crowded, then we can also do the parking like Laverne Cox told us that we can park part on the street and part on my property, the grass.
Okay, thank you. Can I ask our new planning guy, Bo, a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Would this kind of fall under some of the guidelines and safety rules that we would use for a daycare?
Yes, ma'am, it would.
So, if that's the case, would you consider, if this was a daycare, that this would meet the half-acre requirement and the parking requirement? I think you're supposed to have off-street parking space for each 5 children accommodated shall be provided, something, yeah.
Well, it certainly would not meet the half-acre requirement. Although I've not familiarized myself with each of those daycare requirements. I haven't had a chance to cover that yet because I'm so new. And it varies from city to city in Tennessee.
You want to see my book? It's 169, 168, 169. I'll share with you.
While they're doing that, just a question. Is there a fence around the back garden? Is it fenced in?
It is fenced in. We won't be going out back. It's just a party that's in each room. They have items that they have to do. There's a dressing room where they put on dresses. Then they go into the other room for karaoke, and they go into the living room area, and they have a dinner, sit down at China, you know, at the table. As far as the daycare, nobody is going to be left alone. They can't leave their kids. They have to come with their kids, yes. So if 2 parents come and they got 5 kids and I'm there and my hosts are there. But they can't just come by and just say, oh, I'm gonna come in here and drop my kids off. So, I would know way ahead. But yeah, it's a fenced-in yard, but we don't even go outside.
Then my other question, it would be, with understanding you talked to the policemen before, but just be aware that there is in the audience that there is no parking on the street, and that includes half on and half off.
Really?
Although if you had a party and you let the police department know, they may say that. However, the ordinance and books that we're reading, there is no parking on the street, so be aware of that.
Oh, well, they told us that one got a ticket, and he was like, if you would have parked half on and half off, then you won't get the ticket. So then we just started doing that. But I rarely had a big party, but it's up and down our road all the time.
It's a discretion of the officer, of course, but just the books that we're reading and
Yeah.
the signs that you see when you were driving to Lake Forest clearly state there's no parking
Okay.
on any part of the city streets. Just be aware of that.
All
Okay.
4 wheels off of the street
Okay.
is what the rules say. And I think they do allow for a once-in-a-blue moon party if you call the dispatcher's office and tell them what you're doing the day of, and they'll try to get permission from the commander or whoever's in charge not to bother you that day.
Okay.
But they can if they want to. But, so that's how it is. And you can't park in front of a fire hydrant or block a mailbox
Right,
or block
right.
driveways, so.
Right.
Look at the house up there. Which side would you park your people on? Beside your driveway? On the left side or right side?
Where we park our cars?
No, the people who's gonna come to the party.
Oh, it's on the right here. Can I reach that?
There's a laser pointer.
Okay.
That's all right, I can see it. Wouldn't it tear up your yard if it's raining or something out there?
My yard is already torn up, but no. I park where it's like no grass, I park on the grass. But I'm just saying, this is where, I don't know how to work this.
The bottom button.
Bottom one?
There
Okay.
you go.
So this is where we had the party, this is where they park at, right there. It's in the line right there.
What my concern is the safety of the children. I think some of the rules in our book apply to that. And even though it's not a daycare, it involves children. What my concern is on our book, on page 169, we have number 4. It says, special passenger loading and unloading facilities shall be provided on the same zone lot for vehicles to pick up or deliver children. Such facilities shall provide for driveways that do not require any backup vehicle movements to enter or to exit the zone lot. That's what my big concern is. And it doesn't seem like to me from the picture and when I drove by there the other day that you can make it to where someone wouldn't have to back up to leave the property when they pick up or drop off or with their children. And that's my big concern. And I think the rule is there because of a safety issue. And it also protects you against liability should something like that, unfortunate event happen.
So even if I lived in the house, then you saying it's not safe for me to back up out of my driveway?
You can, but you can't do it when you're running a business that's involving the children. That's what it's doing. If you weren't, you just living there and having parties or birthday parties, you can do that. You can park in your yard, you can park in your driveway, you can park on your sidewalk if you wanted to, your own sidewalk. But you can't when it's a business that involves children, safety of children. That's when it changes to where they have to be very careful to protect you and everybody else from backing up motions when there's children involved, because we all see it on the news every now and then. Children are getting injured and killed, unfortunately, because we can't make parents, hold the hands of their kids and lead them to the car and get them in there, unfortunately. I think your business sounds like a wonderful idea, though. My niece would love it, but this is, and everybody has their own decisions to make, but this rule right here is in here for a very specific reason, and it's the safety of kids. So that's just me. Everybody else has their own opinions and their own books.
Okay.
Any other questions by the board members? I'll entertain a motion to either approve or deny the request.
I make a motion to deny it based on page 169, rule number 4, under specific standards.
Okay.
Involves the children.
Mr. Chairman, just for point of order procedure here, what you have before you is an appeal from Mr. Sawyer's decision as a codes enforcer. So I don't want to restate the motion for you, but if you're moving to deny the request for the appeal, the actual proper motion would be to affirm the decision of the codes enforcement officer. And if that did not pass, then you'd have to bring some other motion before the board. But did I restate that? Is that what you're actually wanting to do?
You're saying what I'm trying to say, yes, legally, yes. Thank you.
So we'll take a vote. If the vote is an aye vote, we're voting to,
Mr. Chair, we need a
We
second.
need a second.
oh, yes. Is there a
With that,
second?
I'll make it the second, just for the...
Okay. If the vote's an aye vote, we're voting to uphold the decision of the codes inspector. Correct? And if we vote a nay vote, we're voting to deny the codes inspector. We're voting to,
If the motion currently as presented does not pass, then the table is reopened for discussion for a further motion.
okay, we shall take a vote.
Did we get a second?
It has been seconded.
Aye.
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 Aye. It's unanimous to uphold the,
To uphold what the codes director is enforcing.
it is unanimous, I'm sorry. Okay, moving on to the next order of business, a new business is a sign variance, Taco John's, requested by Joseph Harden, property located at 5068 Murfreesboro Road, Highway Service Zoning District, parcel owned by Invest Squared LLC, Limited Liability Corporation. May we have the report, please?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On behalf of Taco John Restaurants, Mr. Joseph Harden of Design Team Sign Company is requesting sign variance to allow for the installation of an additional corporate sign for the takeout restaurant that's currently under construction at 5068 Murfreesboro Road. The sign variance request includes one additional wall sign. This property is currently zoned C2, Highway Service Commercial, and the sign ordinance as codified in 4.070 of the zoning ordinance allows commercial sites to have one monument or pole sign up to 125 square feet and one wall sign up to 100 square feet. Additionally, commercial sites are limited to 2 directional signs of up to 2 square feet each. Due to its location on Murfreesboro Road, and Murfreesboro Road being the busiest arterial in the city of Laverne, the applicant feels that they need to have an additional sign on more than one of their facades, and this is due to visibility aspects. As motorists go north and south on Murfreesboro Road, at various times they would see parts of the building, and I think the applicant feels like one sign on the front is not sufficient to be able to capture those motorists that are going by on Murfreesboro Road. So this sign would help with that, and it would be on the north side of the building. In your packet, there's no direction indicated on the facade, but it says right side, but I take it that the right side is actually the north side of that building. And furthermore, that sign is, if it were square, it would be 16 square feet exactly, but it is a circle, so it'll be less than 16 square feet, so relatively small in the sign world. So to sum up, any business could be granted a 200 square foot wall sign if they had just 2 signs, because a business is allowed to have the one wall sign and then additional, they can each be 100, so that's 200 square feet. And then again, they can have a wall sign or pole sign next to the street. So in total, Taco John will have 3 signs, including their pole sign, and the total square footage would be well below 225 square feet, which is allowed by the code. And I'll be happy to answer any other questions that you may have. Thank you.
Is there a representative here?
No, Mr. Chairman, the representative, I emailed him this morning to see if there would be someone here to represent, and he made reference to the fact that we didn't indicate to him that there needed to be someone here. And we're not going to be able to present anyone here this afternoon.
Did they send a picture of what, or a drawing of rendition or something of what they're wanting to do?
They do. It's basically a corporate logo.
There should be a drawing in your packet.
But, Mr. Chairman, let me say this. I mean, they're appealing it. They were aware that they were meant to be here.
Right.
We're here, they're not. Make a motion to deny as submitted.
A motion was made to deny it as submitted due to their failure to attend. Do I have a second?
I make a second. to-
It's been moved and seconded.
Mr. Chairman, if I could, sorry to interject so many times tonight. I was reviewing our rules of procedure just to make sure that we're doing everything pursuant to these rules. And under Section 7, it says if the applicant or representative is not present to explain the request, the item will be deferred for 1 month. Is this the first time it's been on the agenda item?
Yeah.
It's first time, so let me just,
I withdraw my second.
I'm going to make a motion to deny based on the building is brand new. They brought it to the planning commission, and they're going to come, they're going to deliver, or people are going to go, they're going to deliver, are going to be locals. They're not coming off the interstate to go to the facility, so having the one sign on the front of the building and the pole sign, in my opinion, is sufficient. So with that, I'll make a motion to deny as submitted.
I agree. I second your motion.
Just building off of that, I understand the board is now providing the reasons as if the applicant were here. The board is obviously within their prerogative to do as they wish tonight. The way that I read the rules here, it seems like that there is an automatic deferral for 1 month administratively if no one here is to present the item. The rule goes on to state that if the applicant or representative is not present at the second meeting, then the application is automatically deemed denied. So obviously the board, it's in their discretion of what to do, but if they don't show up next time, you don't have to have any reasons. It's going to be denied pursuant to the rules.
I withdraw my motion again.
So with that, we'll withdraw and we'll just make a motion to defer.
Second.
So we're
Based
gonna-
on the ruling, and it will be deferred. It won't take to vote. It will be deferred. And that
There's
is,
also able, some workshops, if we want to amend that rule going forward and change it, we can discuss that for future applications.
I think it should stay the same. The rule should stay the same.
we actually used that rule last month, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, I think it should stay the same, the 1 month deferral, because things can happen that can prevent people from showing up sometimes.
All right, there being no further business to come before the board, this board meeting stands adjourned.